Hello, Deep Mindfulness Collective. The microphone is now on. Welcome to the Deep Mind. Welcome to the Joy of Being live stream. Starting now. Folks, lovely to be here with you as always. Today is a very special stream. I'm going to be heading out of town, heading north to go to the guides who I work with for my psychedelic journeys, and very excited. So what I'm going to be talking about is the I feel so embarrassed. 5 therapy sessions that I've had this week. That's normal. And talking about what went down and what I'm doing in preparation for this journey. Very exciting. I'm very excited for this journey in particular. It's been a while. Excited to talk to you about that experience. But first, I want to know where you are. Tell me where you are. I will find you. I'm in BK. What am I grateful for? I dare not try to spell restaurants. There's certain words I just never can spell. Restaurant is one of them. Food places. I can't even begin to remember how to spell restaurants. Oh, that and warranty. Oh my God. I want a show of hands here. Who can honestly, without lying, and you'll know if you're lying. It's embarrassing for yourself. Can spell warranty. Summit Mind, welcome from Toronto. Great to see you here. Summit Mind, do we know each other? Do I know you as not Summit Mind? Do I know you in some other capacities? I know some folks in Toronto who meditate. Jeff's clan, Shinzen's clan. If we know each other, let me know. I'm just trying to make the connection, make my mind grapes, make the connect. What's up, folks? What's happening? What's new? What's going on? What's the skinny? Is this my first water of the day? That's not a good sign. It might be. Oh. That's my second big ass container. Okay, where are you coming from? Happy Friday from Summit. Okay, 2 things. I want to know where you're at. What are you grateful for? I'm grateful for peanuts, and you're coming from peanuts. Very nice. Where are you at? What are you grateful for, folks? We're going to meditate for 25 minutes, and then we are going to chit-chat like kitty cats. Maybe I should have hit switch device. Okay, somebody messaged me earlier, and they said, okay, they asked a question. Okay, link to the stream, when does it start? Okay, here is the link. Wait, link to the stream is... Okay, I'm telling this person, someone has messaged me and said, I want to come on the stream. Limited full book, or would a summary chapter work as well? Okay, so someone is going to be joining us potentially. I'm going to answer this question. Okay, people are finally popping in. Here we go. I don't think so. You don't think you know each other until you really know each other. So I would love to meet someday. Maybe you saw my gratitude practice. Oh, of course. But wait, I didn't realize you were in Toronto. That's what I didn't realize. There's a bunch of really, one of the coolest, might be better than the organized community in New York City is in Toronto. Look up the Consciousness Explorers Club. They're very cool folks. You should definitely meet those folks. That's where the connection was. You got to meet those folks. Okay, so let's see here. I haven't seen you. Wait. No, I haven't met you before. Awandela, Anawa. I think everyone else knows that it's your first time here. So welcome, Anandela. Very lovely to see you, as always. And we have a nice way of greeting you. Welcome. I was wondering why those things were popping up here. Welcome, Awandela. Nice to see you from the Netherlands. Okay, Jean, you are coming from Brooklyn, also happy about food. Jean says, that's right, Peanuts, Ohio. Grateful for a supportive community. Well, I'm grateful you're back, actually, after that crazy meditation last time. Who knows? Consciousness Explorers Club. Thanks. Check it out. They're very cool, and I'm sure they're probably opening up in person again very soon. Thank you so much. Welcome. Great to have you here from the Netherlands. Folks, it is Freestyle Friday. I just want to mention that. So as we're typing our little bits and pieces in here, let me know what you want to meditate on, what's interesting, what challenges are arising in your life. Oandela, I want to know what brings you here. The other magic question is, if this is a magic question, which is very good. You can use this in a million different facets. If today's meditation went really well, like, whoa, you told your friends about, damn, today's meditation was great, what would you be reporting? That is another way to ask the same question. What do you want to meditate on today? But everybody answer that question, because sometimes just one or two people answer, but I'm serious. If today's meditation was like, holy crap, this was, excuse me, this is some crazy stuff, what would that be? Maurice, welcome from Australia. Grateful for Fridays. What? Fridays in the house. Folks, lovely to be here. Happy to be here. But hit me with those. Hit me with them reports. It's my eyebrow looks like it's shaved in half. That's fun. Can I tell you a story? This is a weird story from when I was in college. Someone confronted me in college and said that I was too obsessed with plucking and shaping my eyebrows, and they were like, "You're." I never talked to this person. They're like, "You're despicable. You're just like probably spending hours a day manicuring your eyebrows." And I was like, I've never done that. I've never done that before. I'm sorry. Oh, sure. Walking around with these perfect eyebrows. They were so mad. And I felt really bad because I was like, oh man, you think about your eyebrows a lot, huh? Like, I'm so sorry. I don't think my eyebrows are perfect. I think they're just like sort of ordinary. They're like heavy in the one side. Anyway, this is not why you came here. I just noticed my eyebrows in the camera. Hence the world of looking at yourself all the time. Julia Temple says, am I the only one here getting a staticky audio? Is anyone else getting staticky audio? It's a bit choppy. I don't like the sound of that. Okay, well, actually, if I'm speaking quietly, is it still choppy? That's not good. Same. Oh no, eyebrow. Primordially perfect, exactly. My eyebrows are primordial perfection. Okay, let me know if the audio is still chop-a-dop. Yeah, it's when I speak quietly, it's not clipping. Is that correct? I know, I don't have powers to do that. It's possible that I know what's happening. It's my fault, you guys. I turned my headphone volume down, so I'm so sorry. Not clipping, just choppy. Okay, see, Nick knows what they're talking about. Nick knows what he's talking about. Okay, so, you can try opening your stream. Oh, thank you for the follow, Benno 3K. Great, Benno. Anyone else want to follow? Just go for it. You can try opening your stream to hear it yourself. Yeah, but then you hear it too, and then there's an echo, etc. So that's never good. Finland here, audio choppy for me as well. Well, that's not good. Okay, let me try. Is there anything I could do on my side? Let me see if it's coming in choppy. Give me 1 second, folks. I want the meditation. It looks on my side like it's coming in perfectly. I know way to test this. I'm recording now. Recording, test, check, test. I'm stopping the recording, and I'm going to listen to it real quick. Sorry, guys. I do want to check this, because if I can fix it on my side, I want to. And the final recording is this. Okay, so you'll hear me just saying what I said a second ago. Test. Test. That's all recorded. Test. Well, that doesn't help me. Okay, I'll do it one more time, guys. Don't kill me. Oh, we have someone else here new in the house. Is that what we have? Okay. Yeah, Bill, do you know what it is? I got vaccinated, and now I'm magnetic. That's the problem, folks. I am now fully magnetic, and so it's causing some problems with the stream. So I'm recording this little test here. Is anyone else fully magnetic at this point? Does anyone see these things with people like proving that they're magnetic, and they're in like court, or not court, but they're in Congress sticking things to themselves, and you see it sticks, and then like it falls off, and so they're all like shiny and sweaty. I know the 5G chips are making me extra choppy today. All right, let me listen to my recording, folks. I am now fully magnetic, and so it's causing some problems with the stream. It is on my side. It is officially on my side, so why would it be skipping like that? Okay, I don't want to spend too much time working on the audio, so folks, we're going to sacrifice. I'm going to turn the mic off and on, see if that just fixes it. Okay, well, let me know if somehow that corrected something. I don't know that it would. What else could it be? Anyway, sorry folks, if it's a little choppy today, it won't be choppy forever. Okay, before we jump into our meditation, let's just read here. I know the eyebrows. How about meditation on managing comparison? Well, I'm assuming that's a joke, but I get the idea. Probably Bill Gates messing with your PC. Let's see. Benno, 3K says, hello, man. Oh, from Discord. Great. Perfect. Okay, great. So we're going to meditate. And if you have to have time, my core question is if you should go over the Mind Illuminated full book, chapter by chapter, or if a chapter summary will work as well. We will fully answer that. The secret plan vaccinated can't use technology. Exactly. I need the 6G vaccine. That's what I need. Summit Mind's suggestion. Okay, so maybe we will do something on comparing mind. Okay, managing comparison. How would I teach that in terms of meditation? That's interesting because comparison is like always this extra outer layer. So how would I help deconstruct that? There's a few different ways you could do that. Comparison, self-image, comparing. Okay. That sounds like a good idea. Any other requests for what we do in the meditation? Scott Nesbin joining us from California. Grateful for sleep. I vote for parts and kind awareness meditation. Okay. It's still choppy. Well, folks, I apologize. It's apparently going to be choppy until I restart the computer. I just don't want to restart the stream because that's like a big pain in the ass. So we're going to meditate for, it's funny, I can see the viewer count. Watch this. I want to watch the viewer count just go whoop. We're going to meditate for 25 minutes. I know that sounds like it's going to kill you if you've never done it before, but I swear to God, it's not going to kill you. We could compare this and not this. Dealing with unconscious parts. Okay, great. That just want pleasure. Okay, actually, we can look at it from a parts perspective, which might work. Just so you know, sometimes if you're responding to just someone else, I'll kind of assume it's not for me, and I have to I'll whiz past it. So, just be warned. My audio is perfect. I'm probably the furthest away. Okay. Disable constant judgment filter. Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to do a meditation on comparison mind, and we'll do it from a parts perspective. So if anyone is tuning in or not familiar with this, internal family systems, sometimes I'll call it the multiple self model, is the general premise that we have these different drives within us. One part of us right now wants to meditate for 25 whole minutes, and another part's like, oh, that's impossible, right? We want to be able to see those parts and respect them, not just push them down. Oh, this part doesn't want to, so we'll just shut up, right? I think it's good if right now you're thinking, part of you's like, that would be great. I'd have all sorts of cool benefits. And then another part is saying, oh, no, that's scary. I can't do it, right? If you hear that part right now saying, I can't do it, it's impossible, just talk to that part for a second and say, hey, I hear you. I hear you'd be concerned about that. That sounds tough, and I just want to be here with you, and you can stay the whole time. And if you want to take a break or do something else or just go to sleep, and so we talk to our parts with respect, not trying to push them away. And that's what we're going to do with this part that tends to compare, which we all have to some degree. So we'll look at that. I can't join anyway. Maybe a bit while driving. Okay. Disabling constant judgment filter. Okay, so there's two ways we can go the parts route. I think we might do both. And should I do whole part or should I do this, not this? I'm going to do, actually no, we're going to do whole part. Okay, great folks. So find a nice comfortable position that you can maintain for the duration of the sit. I'm going to encourage you to be still if you can. If you need to move, feel free. Just wait 30 seconds, wait a minute if you can. If you feel overwhelmed at all, just go ahead and make any adjustment you need to. If you need to open the eyes or practice with the eyes resting on a single point or even stopping altogether. So folks, find that nice comfortable position, and when you're ready, take a sip of your giant novelty-sized cup of cloudy water. Clear your throat, ideally not directly into your microphone. And when you're ready, we'll begin. Beginning by taking a few comfortable deep breaths. Just feeling the body rise and fall. The mind is a very elegant instrument. We can often tune into what the mind is doing by simply paying attention to some sensation. In this case, the body simply breathing and noticing what the mind does without judgment. Seeing if we can stay precisely with the sensations of the body relaxing, breathing, and noticing that the mind will likely be a little bit active, have a hard time staying exactly with those sensations. And that's natural. We're not fighting that, we're simply recognizing that. And the way we settle in to this practice is by physically relaxing the body. So, starting at the top of the head, relax the brow and the muscles behind the eyes. Allowing the face to go smooth and relaxing the back of the tongue. Relaxing the neck and the shoulders. The upper arms. Elbows. Forearms. And relaxing the hands. Letting go of any attempt to control the breath, just letting the body breathe as it will. Noticing the natural tightening and relaxing of the upper chest and upper back as the breath comes and goes. Relaxing the belly and the lower back. Relaxing the hips and the upper legs. The knees and calves. And relaxing the feet. And then relaxing all of the body as one big collective, not any particular piece, just everywhere all at once. And then imagining for a moment that part of our physical relaxation included the whole world, everything we can experience in this moment. the sounds, the sights of darkness, if the eyes are closed or if the eyes are resting on a single point, all of our seeing, all of the body, all of the mind, as though we could physically relax all of it. And we're going to allow the mind to take in a kind of soft snapshot of all of our experience in this moment. It doesn't matter what's present, just letting the mind do a kind of soft capture. This is the experience of this moment. In order to do this, we have to engage our awareness. And so we're going to rest in awareness, allowing the mind to be spacious and wide. Letting the mind hold all of our experience, knowing that that will change over time. We're teaching the mind to rest with the whole. Each time the mind comes in contact with this overall experience, we can say that word in the mind, whole. Whole. So we're playing this like a game. If the mind is distracted, simply bring it back to the whole, the totality of our experience. And the mind say the word whole, helping teach the mind what this moment is called. Over and over. And over time, beginning to develop a kind of continuity, staying connected with the whole, continuously and clearly. And because we're letting the mind rest in the whole, in the totality, distractions will come in the form of parts, pieces, details. Suddenly the mind is pulled to the sensations of the left hand. And it's helpful to know that this is not the whole, this is simply a part. So if we're fully distracted, if we get fully pulled away from the whole, from the totality, noticing what we've been pulled towards, calling it part, and then returning back to the whole. recognize that every experience is often simply a part, some small configuration of sense data that can be reintroduced to the overall experience. Remembering that the part of us that may be assessing how this is going wonderfully, this is going terribly, this is also simply a part. This is a part that remains hidden as though it weren't there, but it is simply one part of our experience, not the whole. So introducing that to the overall experience. I'm going to say a few words and notice that each time I refer to something, the mind will point to it for a moment at least, and we can bring that back to the whole, introduce those sensations to all of the sensations. So if I reference, for instance, the self that we experience, the me that we experience that exists on social media, the mind may suddenly flash to certain images or certain memories of certain platforms. Recognizing that this is something the mind does very quickly, easily. It's not a problem, it's part of nature. And without getting caught in that thought stream, just introducing whatever arose, pleasant, unpleasant, or neutral, back to the overall experience. Any emotions in the body, any sense of space or location, any images or mental audio. Just reintroducing it back to the overall. As we begin to explore these stickier parts of our experience, there can be moments when we feel stuck, like there's no way to introduce it back to the whole. There's simply this part of us, some self or some aspect. So if it feels like that, if we're pulled into the center, as though we're caught in the gravitational pull of some self or part, feel that gravitational pull. It can feel unescapable, and ask, what is this experience the center of? What is it pulling from? In other words, what are the outer edges of the world that this part exists in? And this will once again show us the path back to the whole. And sometimes we'll have a sense that we're not enough. Perhaps this manifests in a sense of a need to grow, a need to move down the path of awakening or improve our skills and life, to prove ourselves to others, to argue, to gossip. We all have these drives. And at the root of all these drives is some sense that maybe we're not enough. We need to be better, not just that we'd like to be. A kind of yearning. So tuning into that part of us, not pushing it away. If that's not available, simply continuing with the whole part practice, with any self that's arising. If there's any vulnerable part of us, giving it our understanding, relating to it with a stance of course, I understand that you feel this way. Noticing that the part of us that can have this kind, compassionate understanding of our most vulnerable part is this same spacious, kind awareness that we've been calling the whole. Noticing that the whole, this overall experience, doesn't need anything to change. If it feels like part of us needs something to change, then we know that this is not the overall. This is simply a part. It's not bad. It simply has the drive to want things to be better. It feels like things aren't right. So to simply know that experience. Perhaps saying to it, "Ah, yes, I see you. Thank you. Thank you. I see you." Thanking this part for its clear communication. Letting us know its concern or fear that it's not enough. That it needs to compare itself to others. That it needs to win the conversation. That it needs to keep itself small or hidden. And And rather than pushing that away, calling ourselves brave by trying to erase the part of us that feels vulnerable, instead caring for this childlike vulnerability, the way we might care for an infant that feels scared. Finding the words that fit. Perhaps, I see you. I see you. If we find there's a part that doesn't like this vulnerable part, often some part of us feels that if we could just get rid of this vulnerability, we'd be safe. If that part arises, simply asking it to hold on. We're connecting with this more vulnerable part right now. Often when we compare ourselves to others, what's happening is one part is saying to this vulnerable part, you're not enough. This person over here is better. So to that part, if it's insistent, if it won't calm or quiet, we can simply say, I see you. Of course. I understand. Allowing it to be part of the whole, not needing it to change. Recognizing it too as a small, often scared child. I see you. Welcome. So whether it's to our vulnerable part or the part that judges, the vulnerable part says it's not enough. Or even to both. I see you. I see you. I see you. Letting these parts feel and experience our empathy. That's all I truly want. All they want is to not be alone. Allowing them to feel us here with these parts. Staying with the practice, staying in stillness. We're now approaching perhaps the most important part of this entire meditation. So allowing these parts to feel our body. Allowing these parts to see through our eyes as a tiny bit of light enters the eyelids. It's most often the case that these parts of us can't feel the body or see through our eyes, unless there's an emergency and they take over. So eventually allowing the eyes to rest on a single point. As the eyes fully open, again staying with the practice. Being present with these parts and thanking them for their clear communication, their willingness to be here with us. And as we allow them to be in our bodies, to see through our eyes, in this way recognizing that this particular moment is the great teacher. This particular moment is what can show us how to bring this practice into every aspect of our life. So making any physical adjustments you need to allow the body to be comfortable. And what I'm going to encourage is to not transition out of the meditation too quickly. Often we'll toss away the whole meditation. We're like, okay, I'm all done. Quickly adjust, quickly move, jump to the next task. But really we want to learn to meditate all the time. And the way that we do this, in part, is by learning how to transition out of the meditation, so we don't really have to meditate, or we don't have to transition out of the meditation. We just stay with it. So, what I'm going to do is give you a challenge now, is to choose one of the following. Either use those digits and write down your experience, what happened. Even if I was distracted and confused, whatever, write it down. It's going to make a difference. It will solidify your experience. And the other part is to, if you want, we're going to open up Discord and you can ask a question by voice and I can answer by voice, which often is a much more thorough and deep way to ask and answer a question here. I'm going to get the, here we go. Create an invite, copy, paste. Okay, so there is the regular Discord. We're using this though right now. This is the sort of, what is it called? Broadcast system. I don't know what those things are called. If you go in here, you'll have to change your audio settings, start stage. Okay, wait, what? Okay, I'm going live. Okay, let me edit this. Okay, great. Okay, cool. So folks, jump on there if you want to chit-chat like kitty cats or write your report using those digits. In the meantime, as people begin to populate this section with your reports or jump onto Discord, I'm going to put this over here so I can see if somebody pops in. That makes it easier for me. As you begin here, what I'm going to recommend, what am I going to recommend? Oh, okay, I'm not going to recommend. I already made all my recommendations. I'm going to hopefully have a little bit of time to talk about the psychedelic experience or psychedelic journey that I have planned for this weekend. I have guides. I want to just tell everyone that I cannot and do not recommend personal solo psychedelic use. Now, of course, people are going to do that, and I'm not going to begrudge anyone for doing that. And sorry, I'm putting the doggy cam away because it's going to fall. I've been personally sober for 17 years, and it's a pretty significant part of my life. And I recommend the difference in my experience between doing it guided and doing it recreationally is so insanely different that it's hard to overestimate. Having us all the research on the psychedelics and psychedelic therapy says that the psychedelic experience itself is not necessarily transformational. it doesn't necessarily heal us. What does heal us is the integration before and after. So as people are popping in here, if people want to jump on the Discord or write, then we can answer questions. But I'm going to start talking about the psychedelic, so it'll probably be broken up by reports and questions, since ain't nobody writing no reports, it looks like, yet. Or maybe they're writing these big, long reports. Here we go. Nick says, safely at home. Meditation, improved driving. That's good. Careful. What is what can continuous meditation be like? By the way, what are the main intentions for these psychedelic journeys, like working with old emotion, trauma, revealing unconscious material, etc.? Yeah, I mean, all of those. And you can make up your own intentions. I have my intentions going into this, and maybe I'll try to clarify those here. But any one of those. Continuous meditation, honestly, I don't think that I've personally not experienced truly continuous meditation, because I fall asleep at times. Can you believe it? I fall asleep at times. But the fact is that, that's what we're talking about, is you can meditate from the moment you wake up to the moment you go to sleep. Basically, if there is consciousness present, you can meditate, and that's what continuous meditation would be. And there's plenty of traditions that focus on that. So my intentions going into this are to look at a couple things, is my experience with safety and my experience with trust. So usually the last few times I've gone in, I was really exploring this part that feels like it's not enough. And you'll notice today that we were doing a meditation on comparing mind, and it was in the middle of the meditation I realized I think that comparing mind is largely based on some part of us that feels like it's not enough. So I'm curious from folks if that was available, if you found that. I mentioned, like, I was going to do a bunch of trigger practices, like mention different social media platforms, or mention, an embarrassing moment, whatever. And at some point I realized, like, pretty quickly, I was like, wait a minute, this leads back to this part, and I think we can just find that part and not have to do the external superficial stuff. So for me, that's actually pretty close to what I want to work on in the journey itself. But I realized that for me, underneath the sense that I'm not enough, this is me personally, is the sense that below that is like something happened, something dangerous, like bad happened, and then the child's mind, it's very common that it happens there, where there's pain or there's suffering or there's something like, the infant is like not held or cared for, and the assumption becomes, it must be me. It is my fault, because it's too dangerous to think that the parents are crazy or messed up, and it's too complex to think like, well, maybe they have their own trauma. It's basically like they're either bad or evil, which would be like really, really, really bad, or there's something just wrong with me, and that actually makes it easier. It's like, oh, there's just something wrong with me, and that's why they don't come when I cry, or that's why they, hit when they mean to yell, or whatever it is. And so that's very, very common for a child to think. And so that's part of what I want to look at, is this idea of trust and this idea of safety, because I think there is a sense that there's always danger, and I had to be on guard all the time. So that's part of what's up there. Now, I'm going to play this. This is from Benno3K. What's up, boy?
I am on my phone, so I have to ask in chat, but question is if one should go over The Mind Illuminated and other resources, the full book, or would a summary of each chapter work as well?
So that is a great question. And what I want to say is, should you read the whole book, or should you, go over chapter by chapter? It's really, it's going to depend on what you want. I'm not like a real, basically, here's what I'll say. Often people who do The Mind Illuminated, the way Chuladasa talks about his system is very self-assured. He's like, my system's the best. It's the best system in the world, and everything else is secondary, and I figured it out, and that's cool. That's great. That's not my experience. I think it's a cool system. I think it's very neat. Cool ideas. The big ideas, I think, there are actually balancing attention and awareness. That was something I still use today. I think is very powerful. And then there's sort of another later stage idea, but his idea of like, these are the stages and this is what happens, and if you do this, you're not going to experience the dark night and all this stuff. It's like, yeah, that's fine. I don't think that's true. I think it can soften some of those experiences, but it really depends what you want. Doing chapter summaries, I think, will save you from kind of getting caught in some of the like weird statements that are like, this is the one true way. But I mean, I don't think he says that explicitly, but there's sort of this ongoing implication that he's figured it out, which, you know, every teacher says to some degree. I think he's just more explicit about it. And then, but chapter summaries, you know, it's funny. I think I've read the whole book, but I've definitely done it more from chapter summaries kind of thing. I honestly, what I would suggest is start with chapter summaries and see what you get. What I've noticed is, I think it's like step 4 or 5. Everyone gets stuck in step 4 and 5. I just wouldn't focus so much on like, I have to get to like where he says I'm supposed to be in this order and it's going to look like this, because I think I was too far along in my own process when I did it, and I was like, well, at step 1 it could be this, 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 or this, and they're like, no, it's like this, and I was like, well, no, I mean, I know my experience really well, and it's not like that, so what do you think? And they're like, you know, no, it's like this. And so, I don't know, that's generally what I think, is that it's a beautiful system. It's a little bit overly self-assured. I personally tend to recommend that people do Shinzen system first. Again, this is my recommendation. Again, this is my version of saying I have a way that I like to do it, and that's the way I think it should be done. But that version is get very clear on Shinzen system and then do the mind illuminated as for fun, because it's a great system. It's really fun, but it's also that here's going to be a bigger, weirder critique, because I think that this is pretty, you know, somewhat unique. And I learned this from Shinzen. If our object meditation is the breath, and we learn, okay, the breath is the way to go, that's the thing to do. Like what we did today is mildly impossible, right? You're going to hold awareness, including everything we experience, and reintroduce objects back to the awareness, back to this overall awareness. We're basically like, it's a rudimentary steering towards non-dual practice. And then we look at these different parts and we welcome them, and, you know, it's just like, that's so much more, so many more pieces than just the breath. If we can get very good at observing every sensory experience from every sense gate, it's a transformational experience. It's something that'll change us for the rest of our lives. You just can't unsee that you can everything is meditation, everything is our senses, everything is this sort of unfolding of time and space, versus I'm going to look at my breath. And I was talking to somebody contacted me to help them with one-on-one mentorship, and they were like, yeah, I'm trying to watch my breath all the time when I'm doing stuff, and I'm just like, man, I don't want to say that's dumb. It's silly, because there's so much more than the breath. Why not watch your emotions when you're having a conversation, or watch your mental images when you're looking at your phone, or what, you know, like, there's so many other ways to meditate. So that is my take. And I think that in the chat right now, wait, isn't it like the next thing up? I have 15 meditations that I recommend for people. Is this how I do it? Yeah, that did it. Okay, so those 15 meditations are the ones that I think I recommend for people. Get really, really clear on those. You're going to know yourself at a far better level. Pick one of those that really is like, works for you, really pulls you in, and use that as your object of meditation, and then do the mind illuminated. That would be epic. Epic gamer move. Okay. Julia Temple says the following.
Challenging sit with lots of resistance to sitting in stillness, especially at the beginning and the end. I ended up ending the practice roughly a minute early because overwhelm and a sensation of being suffocated arose.
Sorry to hear that.
All this is probably because I'm really tired. Most of my arisings were related to all this. Did my best to introduce them all to spacious awareness.
Yeah, and sometimes if there's a part that's arising, like that's overwhelmed, you can just kind of reroute the whole meditation to that part. So that's an option. You don't have to be like, just introduce it back to the whole. Sometimes one part needs our attention, and I tried to get a little bit to that towards the end, where we could talk to one of the parts versus another one, etc. Nick says,
I always feel like I am responsible of making sure everyone has a good experience. Also hyper-vigilance most of the time. Guess that's somewhat related.
yeah, exactly. I think it's very related, very relatable too.
I attended the Shinzen's immersion retreat, and it was great to learn the see, hear, feel technique. It is now the main Vipassana tool I use.
Yeah, it's great, man. And it's also, the thing to know is that, like, Shinzen system isn't just see, hear, feel. See, hear, feel is like a matrix that unfolds. In this way, it's like, okay, well, this is see, hear, feel. This is inner see, hear, feel, mental image, audio, emotion. Then you go to rest, and you say, like, okay, what are the intensity levels? And you really train yourself to see, like, okay, what's the intent? Like, what are the various intensity levels of mental seeing? Holy crap, like, it's so detailed in a way that, like, no other system in the history of anything that I know of has ever been this detailed. and the simple. I think there are probably lots of Vajrayana systems and things that are much more detailed, but this simplified and this like nuanced in a way. So that's my general jam. Really like it. Really highly recommend. Here we got Exalted Bro says,
I am one of those people who watches the breath a lot during the day, but that's because I find it to be a good anchor. It's
Great.
too easy to get lost in anything else,
great.
especially thoughts or emotions.
And then you say,
Maybe when I am more skilled, I can use thoughts as objects consistently.
yeah. And so I just want to backtrack. Anytime I'm like, I have a criticism, and then somebody says, but that applies to me, I'm like, no, I'm so sorry. It is true, though. Watching the breath is a great object of meditation and is a good way to anchor ourselves. That said, there are times when watching the breath, like for instance, I always use a conversation as an example. If you're trying to be more in tune with your life or more in tune with the conversation, or let's say more in tune with a child who needs our attention or a friend or something like this, what do we think would probably be better? And this is obviously a loaded question, but on one hand, paying attention to our breath as we're trying to converse and connect with this person and find out what's really going on with them or hear what's some troubling thing that they're experiencing. And we're attending to our breath, and then we're kind of jumping back and forth to try to see what they're saying. And okay, these are the sensations of my breath. Or paying attention to our emotions as they're speaking, and then flipping to paying attention to what we think their emotional experience is, and then just going back and forth, and our emotion, their emotion, our emotion, their emotion. Well, the second one is describing empathy, and it's just making empathy conscious. And that's very, very powerful because it's going to, in and of itself, enhance the relationship. So I think you're right that there are many cases when just watching something very simple that we do throughout the day is a very powerful way to continue the practice. And I remember doing yoga once, and I was trying to watch my breath, and like the whole time, just don't stop watching my breath, don't stop watching my breath. And I probably would have, at that point, been better off either attending to the places where it felt like there was like intense stretching, or attending to the efforting that I was applying, or something that really related to the thing I was doing. So I want to have a massive caveat that I think you're right, Exalted. That is totally true, and what I said is evil. Scott Nesbitt says the following.
I was a bit distracted and it was difficult to stay in contact with the comparing part, but coming back to the whole was relieving whenever I got stuck in a part.
How dare you?
Wondering how to stay with the whole and be more conscious of parts in daily life. Also, what meditations do you recommend for values focused on relationships and being more friendly and helpful to others? I would think metta, but curious, what else?
Yeah, meta's a good one. Metta is love and kindness. One of the best ones is an empathy practice, and it's just, I see you. And you say it to any part that arises, and you're trying to welcome that part, or you can, what we did recently a couple of days ago on the stream was, of course. Any part that arises, you say, of course, I understand. And it's just this level of understanding. Of course you're scared. Of course you woke me up in the middle of the night telling me about this thing I forgot to do, or what was the thing recently? I did something embarrassing. Oh yeah, I remember I did something embarrassing a while ago, and it was like, my mind kept being like, hey, what about that embarrassing thing? And I'd be like, oh, it would hit me with this adrenaline and like this, this stomach yucky feeling. And I'd be like, oh yeah, of course you feel that way. Sorry, buddy. Versus like, oh, don't feel like that. Stop feeling like that. Just understanding, I think, is really, really powerful. But you asked a few questions here. I got stuck, whole part, consciousness, and daily life. I think it's a numbers game. I think you get used to one part of this, watching whole part, and then you can just do it all the time. You can notice that, as I'm holding this object and moving it, the mind's going to really make this a part. It's going to really emphasize this thing. Or if I make a sound, not trying to blow out your eardrums, the mind zaps to it, but then watch it expand back out to the overall. And you can just label whole part throughout the day. That's a totally skillful thing to do. And hopefully that answers your questions. If I missed one, let me know. Benno, 3K says,
Okay, thanks. I've been up all night, so I think I will go to sleep, but I'll definitely tune in again sometime.
Great to have you, buddy. Thanks for joining. Summit Mind, our friend who does a gratitude. By the way, folks, I checked it out. Summit does a gratitude stream, I think 3 days a week. Drop the info in the chat, because I said it last time. I was like, oh, people should participate. And then I was like, I should probably check this out, make sure it's not like crazy. It was pretty good. I liked it. And it's like gratitude writing, and it's in the morning. So drop that info in the chat for folks. But Summit Mind says,
What you're saying makes me think of the importance of holding space as a form of meditation.
Yep, exactly. Holding space is exactly a form of meditation. I mean, I define meditation so broadly that maybe sometimes it's not useful, but I define it as anytime there's consciousness. If we're conscious, then that's a form of meditation. And we can be conscious like any part of the day. What typically we do, though, is in order to make things easy, because it can at first feel like a lot of effort to be conscious, we just sort of glide through the day and don't really think about it. Okay. I realize I have to get ready for my trip, so a few more here.
Some thoughts are slippery, snags you more than other objects because we're used to identifying with them, so they trigger emotionally charged stuff. That's very immersive.
Yes, exactly. That's a good point to what Exalted was saying before, is that thoughts tend to, they tend to want to take you away. They tend to just want to be this stream that's flowing all over the place. For a long time, actually, P.S., I used my hands as the object of meditation. I would just feel things because it was much more interactive and active, and maybe that's where I got that idea that you can use something that is part of the experience and whatever is really part of the experience. Like, I would think if you were, I don't know, when is like breathing the most important thing that I think maybe if you were doing like yin yoga, you would really pay attention to the breathing necessarily, maybe something like that. Okay, so Summit Mind put their link in the Twitch here, in the link, sorry. Summit Mind put the link to their stream in the thing below. And it's, she's on the 16-day, 30-day gratitude challenge. Yeah, gratitude and writing about gratitude is a powerful way to improve our lives. There's lots of studies and research that show that that is the case. Gene says. Does anyone know that song, Jane Says? I feel like if someone would link that in the chat, I'm going to play it right now.
Today went well for me. It's not exciting for anyone else but me, but it's slowly getting easier to pull my mind back from distraction, and I felt I had a small breakthrough with that today.
Nice.
The vulnerable self which wanted attention today is the self which has a weak sense of ikigai, purpose. It is sometimes surprises me how soothing it feels just to say, I see you, to those parts when they're feeling sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, trauma and parts that are isolated, or parts that are, feel vulnerable, they're isolated, they're alone, and they're like, what do I do? And so they come up with all these strategies, like, I'm just going to eat to like resolve this. They just want to be felt and heard. And we have this self energy, this sort of like true self, this true being that I think is very, very powerful. So, okay, Exalted says the following.
My goal is to ultimately be automatically aware of the most important thing currently happening, so what you said makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, and so there's always a level, like there's a level that we can automate this, and there's a level to which we have to apply a little bit of energy. Okay. Gene, every time I quote Gene, I hear this song, which hopefully they say the chorus sooner than later. It's Gene's addiction song. This is a good song. I forgot how good some Gene's addiction was, although it always bugged me that they're heroin addicts and so that's what I hear every time. Jane says. That's what I hear every time. Okay, excellent. Anything else, folks? I should probably jump off. Okay, folks, it was lovely to be here with you. Not a single person jumped on the little live streamy thing. That's fine. I'm not mad at anybody. Just kidding.
Now I noticed the audio stutter is not just for your talking, Mike, it's for all stream audio.
Interesting. Okay, so it's the stream itself. So it's something to do with the connection, the stream itself. I'm going to blame Twitch. Folks, lovely to see you. I have some stuttering music I want to play for you. This is actually, it's not that there's something wrong with the stream. This is actually a piece of stuttering content that I want to play. I'm sure I just have to restart the computer. It's like 99% of the time. Folks, lovely to be here with you, as always. Listen to that music jam. It's funny because I can't hear the music, so I have to listen to it in my head. So imagine that. I hear the music, but it's in my head. So folks, great to be here with you as always. Right now, as you're sitting here, you can bring up and connect with that part that compares itself to other people, right? The part that's like, oh man, like I didn't do this, or maybe I'm not like that, and just give it a little bit of care. Just say, I see you, of course. And every time we do that, we unblend with that part. We're not merged with it. We're not identified with that part. I see you. I see you. Thank you. Thank you for communicating with me. Thank you for letting me know that you feel that vulnerability. And we can carry that all throughout our day as a way to help these parts feel more integrated, become part of our lives. So folks, great to be here with you. There was no stream on Monday. No stream on Monday. No stream on Monday. This scene doesn't stutter. Okay, well, whatever. We'll find out soon. Have a nice weekend, everybody. As always, great to be here with you. And make sure this isn't a request. Oh wait, I didn't know we could make the emojis float here. Oh yeah, that's great. I feel like that's like the new thing. Folks should flood this area with emojis. That's fun. I didn't realize. Oh yeah, you can mess up this screen. Makes it more fun. And you can pick things that match with the color or clash with the color. Okay, what's the point of it all? The point of it all is that no stream Monday, and as always, practice well, take care of each other, have fun, and we'll see you all very, very soon. Just as soon as I put a bunch of things that don't clash with the color, but match with the color. How about that? Folks, great to be here with you. Super fun. All right, folks, we'll see you very soon. Have a lovely evening, day, morning, night. And we'll see you all soon.